A pause in attacks between Iran and the United States after 2 days of reignited strikes. Diplomacy is said to be resuming, with Reuters reporting Qatari officials in Iran for talks on how to bring both sides back to the negotiating table. The latest American strikes in Iran killing at least 14 people and injuring 80 others. Sirens blared in Bahrain, Kuwait and Qatar due to incoming Iranian strikes. The US president this week signaling the memorandum of understanding signed last month to pause the war is over due to attacks by Iran on the Strait of Hormuz. Traffic in the waterway, though, appears to be moving again, trafficking data showing more liquefied natural gas tankers resuming their journey through the strait. Attacks also as Iran's late supreme leader was laid to rest more than 4 months after he was killed in joint US-Israeli strikes at the start of the war on Iran. And Jagruti Dave reports for CNN Live from Washington, D.C. Jagruti, technical talks reportedly starting again between, indirect or otherwise, between the US and Iran. Do we have any clarity on that?
Well, Sue, what we do understand is from an American official who has been talking to US media, who says that the US is committed to a performance-based the memorandum of understanding, that it is looking to continue talks on a permanent peace deal with Iran. It says that it is committed, as I say, to that performance-based memorandum of understanding, even though it views Iran's recent actions as unacceptable at a performance level. So here we do have, once again, these sort of continuation of, I suppose, the mixed messages on. Now we're hearing that officials are saying that the talks are continuing. But remember, Donald Trump had said that the ceasefire was over, even though he had left the door open for negotiations. So it appears from this US official that negotiations are continuing, but really the diplomatic process ahead is very, very unclear. The talks were supposed to resume after the funeral of the late supreme leader of Iran. Al Jazeera is reporting, is citing some reports that suggest that talks could take place on July the 18th in Islamabad. But look, since those last set of talks, we've had the US revoking the license, the waiver on the license on the sale of Iranian oil, and you had those strikes conducted by the US against Iran, which were reciprocated by the Iranians. So really, we don't know exactly what the diplomatic process ahead is, other than these comments from this American official who says that they are committed to that memorandum of understanding based on performance, and that they are looking to continue talks for a longer lasting peace with Iran.
Well, implicit in this emphasis on performance-based is the underlying threat that should there be no performance, Washington might still return to strikes.
Yes, indeed. The United States has always said that it is ready to continue strikes. And a diplomatic official was speaking on CNN and said that the US is prepared to strike Iran if needed. Now, as I mentioned, lots of mixed messages from Trump, on the one hand saying that the ceasefire is over, on the other hand, leaving the door open to negotiations. And look, it's not really clear what is going to happen next, but it's important to say that neither side has officially called off negotiations. So there is still a glimmer of hope that the actions of both sides are just part of a strategic posturing to attempt to put pressure and demonstrate their own leverage as they continue negotiations. Now, there's some interesting analysis here from someone called Nate Swanson in the Foreign Affairs publication. He's director of the Iran strategy program at the Atlantic Council. And in 2025, he served on the Trump administration's Iran negotiating team. And the point that he is making is that even if both sides return to talks, as he says, I'll quote, Iran faces a stark choice. It can use the Strait of Hormuz either as a tool to make money or as a security guarantee, but it probably can't do both. So what he's suggesting is that the more Iran pushes to use tolls in the Strait of Hormuz, the more likely it is that the US will calculate the cost of striking Iran is worth it. So this is just one analysis, but it gives you a sense that strikes, the possibility of the US resuming strikes is still on the table, even as the prospect of talks continuing looks like it might be happening.
Well, thanks to Jagruti Dave reporting for CNA live from Washington, D.C.